Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to the Juice Box Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. As always, we have a new haircut, just a Dubon fan club president, and Chris Moreno,
High and
Sweet Blue
tight.
Guns, Bryles. Fellas, how are y'all this evening?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Just came off of a very hard fought playoff victory for the League City Marlins. So that was really good. There's a couple times I thought I was going to have to double up the blood pressure medicine. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, there was a lot better baseball out there that we saw tonight than what we've seen up in Milwaukee. So, I mean, that it is what it is with that. So that's all I got. Browse, what you got?
Yeah, it was good for the boys to get a win tonight. Unfortunately, I threw a 1-2-3 first inning in our Little League game. That's not what you like to see. But other than that, yeah, I would agree that the baseball in Milwaukee wasn't exactly spectacular. By the way, kudos for both of you guys for getting the predictions correct. My homer pick of 2-1 came up just a little bit short. And I know we're going to get into that series, plus the upcoming series with the Reds. So, PK, how about you, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Again, like normal, there's nothing as exciting as you guys with nightly little league baseball games. But yeah, nothing exciting, man. Just excited for this episode. Weekend, Mother's Day weekends. Hope y'all take care of your mamas and wives this weekend. So let's get into it. We were in Milwaukee coming off of a series loss against the White Sox. So you wanted to go to Milwaukee and you wanted to win the series and you wanted to have a better showing than what you did in Chicago. And, I hate to be right sometimes, but we lost the series. So Monday's game, was that Hayden's game? That was Hayden's game?
Yeah, I think so. No, the first first game was Blanco.
Blanco. Okay. Well, I don't think there was anything special about the Monday game. I mean, I think we ended up losing 5-1. It was 3-1 for a minute, and then basically once Yelich hit his 2-run home run late, I was like, okay, cool, right? So
yeah, I think it was.
It kind of seems insurmountable, and that's the frustrating part. You know what I mean? Like when they get it almost seems insurmountable, just a couple run leads. So that was Monday. I don't know if y'all want to talk about Monday. What y'all think about Ronell's outing? I thought he was okay.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like he was okay, but it's just like it's almost at the point now where it's like, you go down 2-0 or 3-0, it's pretty much a wrap. You know, I mean, but this series went exactly like I predicted it. Wisniewski only, he got all of his damage was like what in the first inning, second inning, or something like that.
No, first inning, 4 in the first.
And again, you got no run support. And the only win you get was Frombers. I mean, so if there was any extra credit to the tie, or if there was a tiebreaker, I did predict we would win Frombers' game. But I mean, like you looked at it again. I'm not saying that I'm like Tony La Russa or anything, but like I tell my boys, the 2 H's that I expect, play with heart, play with hustle. I don't see that at all. I mean, like, there's no like I just remember looking at like the 2017 team, the 2019 team, and they have like their own. Everyone's got their own like high fives, routines that they have. You don't see none of that shit. It's like you look at them. It's like they have a dugout, whether they're up 10-0 or down 10-0. It is the exact same. Like there is no like, it's just they look like they're not having fun, and you could tell because it's boring as shit to watch. That's kind of where it's at. I mean, it was like I said, it was great, fantastic. You won 9-1, but you already had spoiled the series. But it's just like, when is this team going to like show any type of like character or something? Give me something, give me something. I don't know, Browse. I'll let you go ahead because I know you did a lot of homework on this series, but that's just kind of what I saw. So, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and that's something I've been saying the whole time. It's like, listen, we got to have a party starter. Where is the party starter in this clubhouse? Dude, LMJ, you've already got a coffee shop. You need to get these guys on some caffeine or something. I don't know. But, I mean, we've got to have at least that one guy that's in there, trying to get the party started in the dugout. I don't care if it's pranks. Just like you said, go have fun. Where is that? It's like they're all scared right now, or I don't know what's going on. Listen, I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm not in the dugout. I have no idea what's going on, but I agree. It looks like they're just going to the office on Monday every time they roll into the stadium. But to get into the series real quick, PK, you were talking about Monday. Yeah, Blanco gave up 3 in the third. I've been saying, this about a lot of our starting pitchers. Even if they have traffic, they've been able to kind of sneak out of it. And that's exactly what happened with Blanco. He had traffic in the first 2 innings, and then it all caught up to him in the third. And then, Chris, just like you were saying, it's like after that, gone. It's like once we were down, when he gave up 3, they just didn't have that heart and hustle to come back. Tuesday, Wisniewski was pitching, and that one started off bad from the get-go. He just didn't have his stuff. That's all there is to it. I mean, you can't give up 4 in the first inning and then, hope that something's going to happen. Now, keep in mind, we lost that game 4-3. They tried to come back on it. Don't get me wrong. And Brendan Rodgers, who I've been bagging on a lot, I got to give him some props in that game. He had a 3-run bomb, and he actually looked pretty good in that game defensively as well. So I know we lost 3-4. So after that first inning, they kind of leveled out. They tried to make a comeback, but it fell flat again. And then the Wednesday game was just the offensive explosion. I mean, Pena was your main contributor with 4 ribbies. He had a dinger as well. Also, we had Diaz. He went 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs, but everybody was contributing in that game. They were just eating on Milwaukee pitching. At that point, they were just kind of gassed anyway. So it's like, we were just taking advantage of it. And I really wish they would spread out some of these runs over some of these games, because I noticed we've been doing a lot of that this season, is where you have one offensive explosion, and then it's like, hey, guys, all right, we did it. We're good for the next week. We'll get that next 10-run game next week. So, and then the bats just go cold again. It's getting really frustrating seeing that stuff. So, like I said, I was hoping for a 2-1 series. Didn't get it. You boys, unfortunately, were right. And PK, I will let you add to that.
And just so y'all know, that's 2 series in a row for me that I predicted. So
PK's on a streak.
That's what they call a streak. So I think on Monday, one of the early frustrations with Monday is that we had the bases loaded early in the game. I want to say in the 2nd inning, maybe. And again, it was the same thing we've been seeing this whole season. We cannot play any runs with the bases loaded. And then I believe that the next inning was the 3-run inning, right, for Rennell. And so. Yep. You talk about a swing of the ball game in 1/2 inning, right, or one full inning. So it's been a problem all damn season. We get the bases loaded with less than 1 out, or even 2 out. Doesn't matter. Get the bases loaded. We can't plate these guys. We cannot put the ball in the air into the outfield to at least get 1 home. Can't have don't have a single or extra base hit. It's you can't keep squandering those opportunities to either to get early runs or to at least cut into a lead that almost seems insurmountable. So what I wanted to talk about on Tuesday is, and listening to sports radio, this week, and you kind of listen, they're talking a lot about Altuve, right? Altuve, the Astros GOAT. And I know we talk about blunders that he has, or in the past or whatever, but we need to talk specifically. I want to say it was the 7th inning. I think it might have been the 7th inning. It was late in the game. We had a runner on
Which
second.
Game?
I want to say it was on Tuesday. Okay. So we had a runner on second. Then I think Pena bunted him over. Okay. And I want to say it was Cam Smith was at third. So Pena bunts him over, sacrifice, runner to third, less than 2 outs. Altuve's up. He tries to lay a bunt down, and he pops it up to third base. Not only did he pop it up to third base, but he almost got Cam Smith doubled up on that play, right? So you have arguably one of your better hitters in the lineup currently in Pena, you're taking the bat out of his hand with the runner in scoring position to bunt him over, which, small ball, we talk about how like small ball, it still wins. You can get these guys over, get the base knock, but then you send Altuve up there and he goes to bunt. And you know that if he puts it down the way he's supposed to, down the first base line, that run from third is going to score. Altuve probably or possibly will beat it out, so then we're really not, it's a safety squeeze essentially. But he pops the bunt up. Okay. So you don't score that inning. You fast forward to the next at bats, to Altuve's next at bat. He walks. Okay. He walks. Then what you have is you have a, you had it wasn't a pass ball, but the ball was in the dirt. The catcher smothered it, but it was still far enough away to where Altuve thinks that he can, steal that bag. Well, he ends up getting hosed at second base. Not close. Wesley Snipes in Major League hosed, right? I mean, it's not close.
Come on.
Yeah. Paredes is at the plate. He ends up walking. Two more walks happen in that inning. So you got first and second. And I forget who the batter was, right? But he ends up hitting a single up the middle, which would have played it Altuve, which would have tied the game at 4, right? Would have tied the game, and then you end up losing, right? So my question is we talked about it last year. I'm sure that if we did a podcast 2 years ago, we would talk about the base running issues that Altuve seems to have. And when they have happened, they're in the worst possible moment of said regular season game or post. It doesn't matter. And then on top of that, he's hitting 249 right now. So this is way under what we're used to from Altuve. I don't know if y'all saw all those plays that I was talking about on Tuesday night, where we had those opportunities, try to be overly aggressive. Kind of the point is with the bunting, it feels like these guys they're trying to make a run happen instead of being aggressive and going after. They're scared. It looks like they're scared, so they're going to play small ball. This is not what this team does. You have your, Pena up there who's been crushing the ball in the leadoff spot. You're asking him to bunt. You ask Altuve to bunt, and then you still can't get the run in. So it's like they're trying to do all these things to generate runs, and we still can't play a run.
No, like the one thing that I noticed is that when I found it extremely funny when Altuve, messed that bunt up and popped it up. The very next half inning, Milwaukee bunted twice back to back. And to me, it was just kind of like one of those. Yes, it was like, this is how you drop a bunt. I mean, I love Altuve. Altuve, has the keys to the city, but Jesus, he is a terrible base runner. Like, we saw this shit last year. We saw this shit in 2023. I mean, and like, he's just not a very good base runner. I don't know if he just gets overly aggressive or he's the one that he feels like he's got to put the offense on his back and make stuff happen, from whether it's base running or with the bat. But yeah, it's tough. And like PK, you nailed it. It's usually at the worst freaking time possible for him. And that's when he gets picked off or tries to stretch a single into a triple or something completely like just mind boggling. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Then you look at the average, at the end of the day, I mean, Altuve's what, 35 right now?
He just turned 35 on Monday, I think.
So I mean,
yes, Luis Cumpleaños.
If you want to get real, right? And I understand that, for a guy of the stature of Astros baseball of Jose Altuve, you don't ever want to see him in that aspect of he's starting the decline, right? You never want to see that with your athletes that are like larger than life, even though like it's funny because he's like 5'6", 5'7", or 5'5" or something like that. But I mean, he's 35, man. It's gonna happen. That's why it's imperative that you have other players in this lineup that can contribute. Because if you're banking on Altuve to go out there and hit 315, 320, which he might do. But, like the more that he gets on the other half or the other side of 30, the less likely it's going to happen, right? So I just think that you look at Altuve, his standard or his bar has always been so high, so that and plus too, like it's easy to pick that out when the entire offense is struggling, and like what
Yeah.
Bryles said, it's like, yeah, it'd be nice to save some of those runs, but it's like, unfortunately they're a very streaky team, and that streak is every now and then, once every 7 or 8 games, they'll tag you for 7 or 8 runs. Unfortunately, those other 6 games, you get up 3-4-0 on them, and it's ball game. It's over. You go ahead and go into cruise control. I mean, it's frustrating to see, and it just goes to show how quickly that we're getting old as hell. Because I remember watching Altuve's debut, and now here he is, just turning 35, and we're starting to see him on that other side, and it's just like, holy moly, who's going to step up? So. It sucks. But like, yeah, he's also, wrap this up, he's also a terrible base runner. There you go. That's all I got. And I'll listen.
I'll hang up and listen.
All right. Well, the one thing I will say is that, if you're a major league baseball player, you should be able to drop a bunt. I'm sorry. This is what you get paid for. I know small ball is not the thing that everybody wants to see. It's not exactly the trend right now. It's launch angle and trying to, hit into the power alley and all that other kind of stuff. I get that. But there are situations, PK, just like you were saying, where you've got a runner on third. You need to get him home. I don't care if you're Jeremy Pena. I don't care if you're Jose Altuve. Either one of those guys should be able to successfully drop a bunt down the first base line, let that runner from third make it home and get that squeeze in. Guys, this is like basics of baseball. Like, they should be teaching this. If you get out of high school and you don't know how to do that and you make it onto a minor league team, it's a shame. So I don't have anything. It's the other thing I can say is, honestly, I know they're not used to that, because when we had Pop as the manager, I guarantee you, like, you couldn't pay him to get somebody to lay a bunt down. There were so many times where I would just watch. We got runners in scoring position. There's one out. And I'm like, please drop a bunt down.
Oh,
nope,
I'm begging.
not going to do it.
Begging for a bunt.
Anything. Yeah, just give me a bunt. Please move the runner over. Especially like we'd go to extra innings and you'd have the runner on second. It's like, dude, come on. Please just bunt him over. Nope, wouldn't do it anytime at all. So, but yeah, Altuve's starting to lose a step. I will give him a little bit of a break, though. The one thing I will say, yeah, of course he's getting older. But what I will finish on that is, right now he's playing out of position and he's still playing in left field. I don't think that he's going to finish the season in left field. I think once he gets the familiarity back, he's back in his home of second base and is feeling a little bit more comfortable. I think the hits are going to come. I think that kind of nervousness on the bases are going to get a little bit better. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not the best base runner in the world. But I do think that once he kind of settles in, we're going to get back to seeing the old Altuve that we're used to. But until that happens, and he's still kind of uncomfortable in his own skin and, out in the outfield, it's going to be a crapshoot.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's still the GOAT. I don't want to beat the guy up,
for sure,
because he's the GOAT, right? He is. He's done so much for this organization, these last 10 years. It just, like Chris, like you said, like, it kind of sucks to see, your player start to be on the downside of, prime. It just sucks. And it doesn't matter what sport, right? Just doesn't matter. It still sucks. So, but hey, look, I think we're sitting in fourth in the division. We're still barely in May. It's the 8th of May, right? So we're 5.5 weeks into the season, 6 weeks into the season, right? Somewhere in there. Got a long way to go. I don't want to be too much of a Debbie Downer, because I promised myself that I would try to not be like that. I'll do it offline in our group chat instead of on the podcast.
Oh, he will.
But
he will.
Yeah. But what do y'all think about Jake Myers? Jake Myers and his Jake Myers. Yeah. Look, man. I know we're 5 weeks in, right? And I know it's still early, but the dude has been pretty damn consistent.
Yeah, but I feel like he did this last year and the year before and the year before.
I know.
I'm sorry. I am not sold on Jake Myers until it's halfway through the season, and he still has these numbers. You know, we saw it how many times? Like 3 times last year. He'd
At
go on
least,
this
yeah.
nice little, 3 to 4 week run that'll bring his average up to 260 something, and then he'll go back to being Jake Myers, and he'll be right back down to 220, and then it'll hit on this nice little streak. It's great that he's doing it. It'd be great if like he was doing it on like every third or fourth night where the offense wasn't clicking because they were clicking all the other nights. But I'm not sold on Jake Myers until he can do it for a full season, or at least a good 60% of a season. Until
or at least
then,
until he
it's
gets a
just
helmet that fits.
yeah. I
That
saw
shit
that.
bugs the hell out. It
Yeah.
bugs the hell out of me, dude.
I mean,
Like just
as
get
of
a
now,
helmet
for
that fits, man.
at least for me, I'm more of the okay. When is this falling off of Mount Everest going to happen? Because he's done it so many times.
Yeah. No, I was just curious. I mean, he's been pretty consistent. So,
Well, I mean, and by the way, his helmet's not like as bad as Carlos Gomez. So it's not quite that bad.
or Bryce Harper.
Like, or yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely Bryce Harper.
But it's so here's the thing. I'm not going to be as Debbie Downer as Chris was, but the one thing I will say is that I kind of agree with you, and the reason I agree with you because we're looking at past history, and the past history of Jake Myers it ain't great, other than the fact that he's got good defense in center field. That we can rely on every single time. But I would say that his offense this year has been a huge surprise, and it's been a welcome surprise because, by God, we have needed it, especially with everything going on. So it's like, listen, Jake, keep cooking right now. I want to see you succeed. I want you to prove Chris wrong. I want you to prove me wrong and everybody else that is doubting you right now, because we need the offense that you have figured out to continue through this entire season. So keep it going, man.
Yeah, no, I hope he stays, what stays consistent like he's been, so far. It's been nice to see him finally, put something together consistently, but I just hope that he can, continue to move it forward. Like, because Chris, I mean, we sat here, just like you said, several times last year, and I would get hype about Jake, and you're like, yeah, well, just give it a few weeks. He'll be back down to normal Jake. So it's definitely a pleasant surprise. It's been good to see. I'm happy for him. Also I'm starting to like DeZenzo and his outfield play and his at-bats. I mean, it seems like Cam Smith's, I know they're still platooning, obviously, but it seems like DeZenzo's getting a little ahead of Cam as far as, more ABs and more playing time. So Cam's struggling. I think he's hitting like 211, 212, I think. But I'm really liking DeZenzo. I'm really liking DeZenzo out and right. I mean, he's an athlete, minus the, fumbled or the botched catch in Chicago on Sunday, I think it was.
That don't count. That don't count.
I know. It was, yeah, I get it. But I'm liking DeZenzo out there. I don't know what are y'all thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I think we're nearing that time where I think it's really time to have that honest heart-to-heart conversation about sending Cam Smith down to AAA. I think, I think you've seen enough of Cam Smith. I mean, if you're having to, let's be, you platooning your number one freaking prospect does him no good. Either he's good enough to be your starter, or send him down so he could start in right field for the Space Cowboys. Do not keep him up here to platoon. So send him down. I'll go full in. Send him down. I mean, there's nothing that he's shown me so far this year that is worthy of him staying or taking a roster spot. Send him down.
Now, is that so you can watch him play more since you got a lot of Sugar Land games?
No, that has nothing to do with it. And I honestly, I'm offended that you would bring that up. It's the guy's hitting what you said, 209, 212.
212.
He's your number one prospect. Name any other team right now that their number one prospect is being platooned with another guy who is your 19th prospect in your system. Name me one team, and I'll wait.
It was Jackson Holiday doing that with the Orioles. And then
okay, so I was going to say Jackson Holiday. but he's still not. He's still struggling a little bit. I mean, the Orioles are holding up.
Yeah, but he's back up, and they gave him the position. He's not platooning with, Julio.
No, that was last
Lugo.
season.
Yeah, I mean,
just to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, so every number one prospect that is in the majors right now owns their position. Send Cam Smith down. Yeah, exactly. So I think we've seen enough of Cam Smith in his 212 batting average that I understand. Okay, great story. It was awesome to talk about in camp. Gave us something to really look forward to the season. But the guy's hitting 209, 212, whatever it is. Let him play every day. He's slowly taking a backseat to DeZenzo, and DeZenzo's playing his ass off. Yeah, I'm not saying DeZenzo doesn't deserve it, but send him down. Him sitting on the bench is doing him no good. And the Astros are notorious for this shit. They did it with Pedro Leon. They did it with Shea Whitcomb. They did it with DeZenzo when they first called him up last year. Just send Cam Smith down. Let him get every day at bats for Sugarland or Corpus Christi, and let him mash the ball, regain his confidence, call him back up in mid-June. And then there you go. So, yes, I like DeZenzo. Let him start every day. Let him start until he proves to you that he shouldn't be a starter. And send Cam Smith down. That's my call.
So, PK, I'm glad you brought this up because I actually read an article. I was going to say, I'm glad you brought this up because I read an article from the Crawfish Boxes, actually, and they were talking about that. They said the Astros have a DeZenzo problem. And that DeZenzo problem is the fact that he's playing, he's hitting consistently, and he looks really good on the field. So, Chris, just like you're saying, it's like, what do we do? So we even touched on it in our last episode. It's like, does he play a corner outfield with Cam, and then we move Altuve back to second and DFA Rogers? Do we put him at third, put Paredes at second, and then get rid of Rogers? Or who is your odd man out? And I would agree all the way. Rogers has really good defense. He had really good offenses last series. But at the same time, it's like, who is the odd man out here? And I do agree with you. I feel like Cam Smith it hasn't quite progressed to where we want to see him. Now, keep in mind, he's out of position too. I feel like half this team's playing out of position right now. Exactly. Which makes it really, really difficult for these guys to get either comfortable at the plate or maybe even comfortable in the dugout. Maybe that's why this whole thing of them like not having fun is going on, because they're too damn worried about like, oh my God, I got to go play right field next inning. I'm a third baseman. What am I doing over here? Or I'm a first baseman. Why am I playing in the outfield? These guys are not comfortable right now. And that DeZenzo problem, I don't think is going to be a problem for much longer. I agree. I think Cam Smith needs regular at-bats. And if he's not going to get him up here, put him down in AAA. If that is not your solution and you want to give him regular at-bats here to try to get this bat going, then Brendan Rodgers is going to have to sit on the bench. And so is Mauricio Dubon. Stop trying to sprinkle him.
You can DFA Dubon. That's what you can do.
They're not going to DFA Dubon, but they try to sprinkle him in too much. It's like, don't get me wrong. If somebody needs a day off, I get it. But stop trying to like, oh, well, he can just go play second or short or third or first or center field. It's like, no, you put him in when somebody does need a day off. Don't force that in there. So anyway, we're going to see what the Astros are going to do. Right now, I do think that Dana Brown and Espada have got a problem. They're going to have to figure it out. But the one answer is DeZenzo needs to be on the field and in the batter's box.
Agreed. So look, real quick, we'll get into this the Reds series. So DeZenzo's got 52 at bats. He's hitting 269, 333 on base, 404 slugging, 737 OBPS, right? And Cam Smith's at 85 at bats. He's got a 212 average, 302 on base, 365 slugging, 667. So I mean, he's got 30 something more at bats, 31 more at bats, but it just feels better with DeZenzo in the lineup. It just feels better. He's got better at bats, than Cam. And Cam's young. We all know that. He's trying to learn. as he goes. We talked about it earlier, where every additional AB that he gets is just a little bit more, knowledge on what the pitchers are trying to do to him. But Chris, I agree, as you said, with just, I think you just send him down, let him play every day, let him get the routine in of playing every day. Let DeZenzo play his way out of that position to where you have to where you have to figure out what your next step is. So that's what I hope to see. We'll see what Espada is going to do with that, but got a few more minutes here. We're going to jump into the weekend series. The Cincinnati Reds come to town, Mr. Ellie De La Cruz. So if he's listening, I would tell him to, as soon as you touch first base, just start stealing all the way around the bags. We can't throw anybody out. So, but they got a good little team, man. I mean, the Reds, they got a good little squad.
They're no joke.
They're 500, just like we are.
I mean, but for the Reds, that's pretty damn. I mean, they've got some.
Well, the
ballers.
Reds aren't crappy anymore. They have a good young team. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
They're not like. I mean, they're not the Reds of like 6 years ago. I mean,
you got Gavin Lux, Austin Hayes. I think Austin Hayes is still injured, but you got De La Cruz.
They got a good young staff. They got
Yep.
They got a pretty decent bullpen. I mean, so they're not.
Didn't Green get hurt? I think Green got hurt in his last outing. He left early.
I don't think we would have saw him anyway, but we're going to see Brady Singer though.
Okay.
Yep, we will.
So we should have what? Hunter Brown, LMJ,
then Blanco.
And Blanco.
Yeah. Let me knock it out for you. It's the Friday game is Hunter Brown versus Nick Martinez. Hunter Brown coming in with a 5-1 record and with a 1.67 ERA as the leader of our pitching staff. Nick Martinez, at 35 years of age, coming in at 1-3 with a 4.19 ERA. And then Saturday, you called it LMJ, 0-0 ERA. Brady Singer, which is one of the highlights of their staff, 4-2 with a 3.66 ERA. And then Sunday for Mother's Day, Ronel Blanco, 2-3 with a 4.98 ERA. And Andrew Abbott, 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA, 2.25.
All right, so I'll start first.
Right. I was going to say, Mr. Back-to-Back, you start us off.
I'm going to take 2-1 Astros. Astros going to win the series. They're at home.
Your streak was fun while it lasted.
No, it's not. It's gonna hit again, and then you can apologize to me next on Sunday night. So I think the Astros are at home. I just feel like they're gonna, they're just gonna play better. You've got Hunter Brown going, so that should be a freaking win. Friday night should set the series right up for you to take the series. I think LMJ's start on Saturday is going to be freaking amazing as far as the atmosphere. I think he's going to use that, the fans and the adrenaline from that to go and do his thing out there. And I think Sunday, I don't know. It's just with Ronell, we just don't know what we get. He can have, he just has like an okay outing. So I'm going to take 2-1, win a series, and that's what we're going to do. Not all at once.
That's
I'll say Chris is next. I'm like 0 for 4 the last 4 weeks.
That's a cool story. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to lose this series 1-2. I think they'll win the Hunter Brown game just because it's Hunter Brown. They'll win 4-2, right? I mean, that's great. I agree. The stadium's going to be bumping. McCullers is going to have, all these great feelings. However, McCullers cannot hit in this lineup. So
that's true.
He's going to lose that game. My money's going to be on Brady Singer. I think he's the better pitcher. Like you said, he's a first rounder drafted by KC out of Florida. I'm telling you, this one's going to be, my prediction is going to be 6-1 Reds. Not because LMJ gets rocked. Trust me, a one-hit wonder, Taylor Scott, will probably give up 4 runs. So
we haven't even talked about that guy.
And then Sunday, who is it? Abbott against Ronel Blanco. There's the other part of the Milli Vanilli one-hit wonder. I think I'm going to give that one. I would rather go Andrew Abbott. He's more consistent than Blanco's been. I think that game's going to be, 5-1. and all the mothers are going to be disappointed on Sunday. So it'll start off high. We'll be high-fiving each other. By the time we'll meet again, it'll be low tide. And
so you have them scoring 6 runs for the series? 4-1-1, yes. I mean it's 6.
4-1, yes. Yeah. I'm gonna say 6. I'm telling you, this offense, until it proves to me it can be consistent, you're not getting any love from me. 1 and 2, and they're lucky that they have. I'm giving them 1, but it's only because Hunter Brown's pitching.
Well, I like both of your aspects on that, but the one thing I will say about Hunter Brown is
the sweep.
No, dude, I'm not going to sweep. No.
Reverse sweep.
No, I'm gonna piggyback on PK. I'm going 2-1. So Hunter Brown is the best pitcher in the American League. So
he did not win but he did not win pitcher of the month though.
That's because they're
ridiculous.
Yankee lovers. That's why.
So yeah, everybody's got some Houston hate. So he's not going to win all of them. You got to be extra exceptional to get that pitcher of the month. So anyway, Hunter Brown 5-1 with a 1.67 ERA. Listen, he's going to dominate on Friday. It's Nick Martinez. I'm still going to say take the under, which is crazy because I think we're going to get a whole bunch of runs off Nick Martinez. So anyway, take your under on Monday with a Hunter Brown win. Saturday, LMJ and Brady Singer. I agree with Chris. Brady Singer is probably the better pitcher, but this is LMJ's giant comeback on Saturday. I think we're going to squeak this one out one way or another. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to tell you to take the over or the under, but I think we win this by, barely. Maybe 1 run or 2 at the most. That's going to be about it. And then Sunday, Lo siento por todos mamás, because Ronel Blanco is not looking like the Ronel Blanco that we want him to be. So I honestly, I think he probably ends up giving up quite a few runs, and Andrew Abbott's going to go in there, especially if we get the Goon Squad for Sunday coming out. I think it's going to end up being a Reds win on that one. So 2-1, and I'm going to go win Friday, win Saturday, loss on Sunday.
And look, speaking of the Goon Squad, today is the last off day that the Astros have until the 26th of this month. That's their next off day. So it is baseball. And from the 9th till the 25th, and they get an off day. So we're going to see the B team lineups on a couple Sundays, maybe on a Wednesday, right? So I think we go to the Rangers next weekend for 4. I think it's next weekend. So I think we play Seattle later this month also. So starting to get into some division games, not start to, but play a few more division games. So it's a big weekend, man. I think we need a series win here. We need a series win, get us going into this long. I think it's 18 games. I think it is days of straight baseball. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, Chris. I will be waiting for your apology on Sunday. And
I'll be waiting for you guys to be like, "Hey, Chris, we were wrong." just like a coochie.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see on Sunday. So everybody,
he's still holding on to that one.
Yeah. Hell, I would too. We were so wrong on that one. It was terrible. But look, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys take care of your moms on Sunday. Make sure you come back and follow us on Sunday. We'll come watch us on Sunday evening. We'll be on at 7:30.
Bring your mom with you.
There you go.
Bring your mom with you. So until then, you guys have a good weekend. I'm PK. That's Chris. That's Bryles. And this is the Juicebox Heroes podcast.
Welcome.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, I guess. That's probably what
yes. Well,
yes, take care of your mothers this weekend. Do not forget
the mothers.
Folks.